Segment number 3. Welcome back. I'm Jennifer Fierro, your broad podcaster with Art Dlugach, the voice of the Llano Yellow Jackets. Now, there is one more high school sport in the spring that we wanted to wrap up, and then we can move on to other things, correct?
Llano High School golf team, coached by Mike McIntosh, who's been at Llano just about 3 decades and mostly a golf coach. Doesn't look that old, I'll guarantee you. And Llano came in 4th, the boys, at state, and that ties the second best finish the Jackets have ever had. They were 3rd in 2015 and 4th in 2014. The players, Juice Lang, Dylan Prokop, Ross Prokop, his brother, Brock Fly, and Jackson Dillard. So very strong congratulations to the young men and Coach McIntosh and the unofficial assistant coach, Scott McDonough.
Okay.
So
congratulations to the Jackets. I believe they only lose one player on that roster.
Yes, Dylan Prokop.
And everybody else will be back in 2023. So probably, would we say that Llano, if there is a top 5 in the state going into 2023?
I guess so. Have to be, since they came in 4th. And as we say, just lose one boy.
Okay. All right. We're going to stay with football now, and wanted to say this about them because there were 2 things that happened this week that were really, really substantial. 3, if you throw in Chad Morris resigning from Allen High School, the largest high school in the state of Texas, resigned, and officially he is saying to try to get back into college coaching.
Chad Morris, the former head coach where it all started, Lake Travis.
Stephenville, if we're going to go that far.
Okay, all right.
So let's be accurate about that. Stephenville, then Lake Travis, and then from Lake Travis, the OC, I believe, at Tulsa, and then he just continued to climb the coaching ranks. So wish Chad Morris very, very well. I think I may have met him one time, may have been in Marble Falls one time. So what I did find interesting, and this is local because we can localize this. So Chad resigned sometime last week. On Monday, Allen High School named his replacement. And that man's name is Lee Wiginton out of Midlothian Heritage. He was the head coach at Midlothian Heritage. Here's the local angle. One of the staff members at Heritage is a coach named Chris Roberts. Chris Roberts is the son of Russell Roberts, who we just talked about in the last segment, the former head coach at Faith Academy, who is now an assistant coach at Smoking for Jesus. So congratulations there to Coach Wiginton. We wish Chad Morris the very best in his future endeavors. We know he will land on his feet. He is an outstanding coach, probably a first ballot Hall of Famer like Todd Dodge.
Head coach Matt Green from Llano, very good friends with Coach Morris, along with offensive coordinator Ryan Preem. They went a couple of years ago to see practices at the University of Arkansas when Coach Morris was there.
Okay. The other thing that happened this week, and this really is substantial, the Texas High School Coaches Association announced that a partnership with Ecker Sports to explore the possibility of high school athletes being paid for name, image, and likeness. That is something that is happening already in the collegiate ranks. Texas is one of maybe, I forget now how many states to not do it. I think Texas is one of 26 states that prohibits high school athletes from being able to cash in on their name, image, and likeness. Today, that is still illegal. The Texas legislature sets laws. The Texas governor is who signs those bills once they pass and they get to his desk. He either vetoes those bills or he signs them into law. Right now, the state legislature is saying no. But the Texas High School Coaches Association, with 25,000 plus members, have already moved in a direction in what it appears to me to be that they are going to ask the legislature to really look at this. One of the reasons, Texas fans already know, Quinn Ewers, the former South Lake Carroll quarterback who forewent his senior year at South Lake Carroll, signed an NIL deal to enroll early at Ohio State for the 2021 football season. So I do think that there's going to have to be some evolution here. Do I like it? I don't know yet.
Jennifer and I were trying to pick each other's brain before the podcast to see what we were going to say. And I said to her, well, if it's legal to do it, okay. But, you know, if that's got to be true if they have to do it. But isn't that a shame to think, and I'm for it for college, but in high school that some sophomore might be making $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 and going to his history class with 3 other players who are making nothing. I think that's pathetic.
College coaches make a lot of money, have made a lot of money off of college athletes. Athletic departments are able to bring in a lot of money because of success by athletes.
Absolutely.
And the only people who really had not been able to make any money off of their success have been the athletes themselves. But the question is, do you allow unchecked free agency through name, image, and likeness? Because that's how it feels today. 12 months later, that's how it feels today.
One thing I say about NIL for college, I think the colleges sort of backed off trying to put this down, not let it happen, is because if NIL did not happen, and it has, then they would quickly go eventually to play for pay. And the colleges do not want that. They'd rather, pardon me, Nike paying these young men instead of the universities. And that's my thought.
Yeah, and you and I have had that discussion many, many times. That's not how it works at all. And here's why. Because the athletic department signed apparel contracts directly with the apparel companies. So, I'm a Texas fan. Texas has a deal with Nike, okay? Texas A&M has a deal with Adidas. They are not going to allow, Nike is not going to allow Bijan Robinson to put on a pair of Reeboks. It's not going to happen. But
that's great. She's right.
Lamborghini Austin will allow or is allowed to sign a deal with Bijan Robinson to drive their cars. Okay? There are UT football players who have car deals and truck deals right now in the city of Austin. I forget who the other defensive player is. He signed with one of the car dealerships to drive a pickup.
Yes.
So that's what I mean. We're talking about Canes. We're talking about local Austin-based companies that can do things like that. The national brands, because the universities have those contracts already in place, I don't see those universities allowing their kids to go against those contracts.
In 2017, I signed with Johnson Sewell Ford in Marble Falls for a Ford Fiesta. Cost me about $16,000. They waived the whole thing. So I love my Fiesta. I'm kidding, of course.
Yeah, I was going to say, now
it's people, no Lamborghini.
Everybody who calls me unethical, I want you to hear that story, even if it's not true, because I've never gotten a deal anywhere close to that. They all say, we know who you are. Here's the bottom line. Can you sign and make this many payments over this many years for this amount of money? Anyway, I don't know where I stand on this. I will say this. I do believe and have always maintained that there is lots of recruiting going on in the state of Texas. I have believed that. I'm sorry, not recruiting. I believe that there has been families who move for athletic purposes across the state of Texas. It happens all the time, okay? So now what you may have is, do you have enough boosters in certain rich high schools who want a specific kid to come and pay and play for that school, and they'll pay them? Because right now, you and I both know, there are rich school districts that if they want a kid bad enough, they'll give that kid's parents jobs to relocate, and better paying jobs to relocate. So that's where I'd like to see more. And I don't think Thesca has gotten as far to make a recommendation to the state legislature, even though I think it's coming.
Well, I don't have any comment on that at all, except, again, I'm opposed to if it ever gets to NIL for the high school boys and girls.
Okay. All right. Well, that is all we have for this third segment. I think we can wrap up unless you have something else you want to say.
I'm done.
Okay. Then for Art Dlugach, I'm Jennifer Fierro, your broad podcaster right here in the Highland Lakes. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.